can't move the seat now, can I? Because we're just completely
You can?
squared up in
Well,
no, I can't.
You can. Where are we going to go?
Like there. We all mic'd up this time.
Well, no.
Mine's the right seat again? Or are we do we swap when we're out and about? Is that the tradition?
Can't remember now. Well, let's be honest, it doesn't make a shit difference anyway.
I don't care. Tradition to me, tradition.
The viewer isn't going to be bothered. So, yeah.
Never mind.
So, yeah, we're back for another do. But
Yes.
again, in a different location.
And where are we, James?
We are in Nigel's shed, which is a combination of a workshop, a sheep shed.
My palace of many things.
Yeah. There's tractors and there's a quad bike. I'll show you, but there's a quad bike up in the roof over there. It's the extreme measures that Nige goes to keep hold of his quad bikes. Takes the wheels off, makes sure they don't run, and then ratchet straps them into the roof.
The non-runner is very important before I strap it to the roof. Yeah.
It's a vintage.
It has to do everything, does this shed. We've got lambs fattening there. We've got the sheep race and stuff set up over here as well. But the problem is that the lambs are then in the way if I want to get the sheep in to do anything with them. So I have to have a bit of a switcheroo.
Yeah.
Now I could possibly make more use of this room here, but there's stuff in there.
Yeah. And it becomes your lambing shed.
Yeah. I seem to spend most of my farming year moving stuff in and out of this shed.
Yeah. Is it the one shed you've got that doesn't flood?
No, it floods.
Does it?
Yep. We've had 6 inch of water in the bottom of it before.
Amazing. And that's a topic we can't talk about today, but yeah, we should. Yeah. That's a topic for the future.
True. But the worst time it happened was I was just brought the ewes in before lambing.
And it flooded.
I'd just brought them in and it started peeing down, and I had to kick them out. They didn't want to go out because the water was. I was struggling to get them out of the shed.
Right.
Because they didn't want to walk through the water, but thankfully all the straw was sort of just floating out with it. So
they'll get carried out anyway.
Yeah, well, I got them out of the door and poked onto some dry land, so they just kind of milled around there for a day or two till it damped down, and then I was back in, muck everything out, set everything up again.
Amazing. So one of the reasons is because the river is the other side of the road. And you're at the bottom of a dip.
Yeah, to be honest with you, the river, the other side of the road, hasn't affected us. It's more the fact that we're in a bit of a basin here, we're in a bit of a low point, but the lane that runs up onto the top road into Thornton, that lane that runs up there, is higher than our yard, way higher. And it just creates a dam. Yeah. So then, I don't know how, but the lane is at fault because it collects a lot of water off the top road.
Yeah.
Channels it all the way down, gets down to here, can't make the rise out onto the road and into the river, so it just all builds up and then falls over and into the yard.
Awesome.
And there is a drain under it to sort of drain away, but it's about yay big. And I don't know if it's blocked or not. I've rodded it out before now, but it makes
yeah. The amount of water that comes down, it's never going to keep up anyway.
Yeah, thankfully we haven't had a proper flood for a while. But having said that, put the kiss of death on that, haven't I? Considering, James, if you'd like to lead on about putting the kiss of death on things, last week we were talking about planned obsolescence.
Yeah, so the coffin is the sheep, which weren't making a noise when we came in here, silent. And then as you start, it's like the dogs at the workshop.
They just know.
Yeah, they just know. They're going to do some filming. Let's start making a noise.
What are these two Mickeys up to? All right. Yeah. Anyway. Honestly, like I said to you before, if you leave the camera rolling long enough, we'll film a death.
One will die.
It's the sheep's nirvana.
Yeah.
I'm going to die as spectacularly as I can, possibly on film.
that'll be the holy grail.
Yeah. What the hell it's coughing on?
Anyway, a bit of a sidetrack, but back to what we were saying. Last
Planned
week,
obsolescence. Yeah.
the topic was planned obsolescence. And sort of the reason we're in your shed now is a result of talking about planned obsolescence and the dangers of talking about planned obsolescence. Because, what happened?
We tempted fate, James.
We did.
We did. We tempted fate.
So I got an email from you
An email, yeah, because that's
on
the only.
Friday night.
It was the only method of communication open to me at that time.
Because
my phone had finally taken it upon itself to decide that touchscreen it's too advanced. Well, I haven't got a touchscreen anymore. No, I'm not interested.
it was unnecessary.
Yeah, I think it was filing a complaint about me. I'd touched it too much. I think that's what was wrong. So you press the one button that did work still on there. You press the button on the side to sort of wake it up, and then the swipe up to unlock. Nothing. Nothing. And I try and press buttons to wake it up and do this, that and the other, and it wasn't happening. It's like, So anyway, of course, onto YouTube. How do I restart an iPhone without, that's not responding to the touchscreen? Anyway, for those interested, it's a quick tap up on the volume, then a quick tap down, and then hold the lock button in. Just keep it held, because the new screen will come up saying slide to turn off, or what have you, which again, you can't do. But just honestly, persevere, keep your finger on that lock button, and it will restart. However, until I learnt that, the first time that it happened, because it only had like 20% battery left on it, I just waited for it to die.
Right.
And then re-spark itself, which it did do.
Right.
But again, then straight away, as soon as the lock screen came on, I went to unlock it. No. Died again. So long story short, I persevered for another day or two, messing around, restarting it each time, but it was just getting worse and worse. The record was, the last time that I did it, before I switched phones, 9 restarts before it would wake up. Which my arse was starting to pucker a little bit by this time. Because you just think, it's not that I really love the phone or anything, but it's the arse ache involved of having to just reinstall everything if you haven't got it backed up, or because when I've done it in the past and I've had a knackered phone, I've been able to you put the two together and one can scan the other, and then the process starts and it's relatively painless. Yeah. But just the feelings of, well, even now, I thought that I'd followed what I was doing. It said, it'll just transfer everything across. It'll all be beautiful. No, it's not. I went to the mobile banking app, hit that, not available.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what do you mean? No. Because it recognises the device itself, not.
Yeah.
So, yay. Got to go all through that rigmarole again.
Yeah.
Remember all these rubbishy passwords that I had to make up last time I did this. I don't know. I had to make them up on the spot.
Yeah.
Especially when, like you said, your tried and tested 3 or 4 that you have. No, you've already used that.
Yeah.
It'll kick it back at you. And then you think, I'll change it a little bit. Or I'll do this. Or then it'll say, no, that's not strong enough.
Yeah.
So, I'll just make up this one. Oh, brilliant. Right, we're in. Gone. Completely.
Immediately forgotten.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter now, does it?
No.
It's only going to matter next time you try and get in and can't remember it, and then you have to go through the ball ache of forgotten your password.
Such a pain.
I'm going to send you a code to your email that never appears.
Yeah. Oh, it's all right. We'll send you this code and you hit refresh. Where is it? It's not coming. And then you talk to someone over the phone and you're giving them details, or you're giving them email addresses, and they're saying that just before they click the phone down, they just say, "Oh, just checking the email address. That's duh. And before you get a chance to say no, or that didn't sound right, click gone. So you just think, oh, you're now tapping all this out to email that doesn't exist.
Yeah, incoming.
So I'm going to have to sit through all this again.
My favourite right now is Ryanair, because I'm trying to get a VAT invoice out of them for some flights, and they said they'd send it and it hasn't arrived, so I'm going to have to go through all that ball ache again, and they've made it like ridiculous. Well, the only way I could get to do it was by going through chat. Anyway, yeah, just a nightmare. So
we're not even getting onto the chat.
No.
For another time.
The consequences for me of talking of planned obsolescence.
Shouting your mouth off. Let's come back to bite you.
All electric chips out in the house, both the chips in the fuse box. So there's an inquiry into, what's set that off? What's wrong with that? Oh, that's weird. It must be something pretty big, sure enough. Cooker won't heat up. So it done the heating element in the cooker. Lou Cinder brought home a particularly potent version of the Norovirus. So that was, we were meant to be beaten on Saturday, but that was me, Lindsay and Zoe out all day Saturday.
You could have been scaring pheasants, but not in the
traditional there was absolutely no way that was happening. I was not fit at all, which is, I don't often get ill, but that was not good. Recovered a bit on Sunday, well enough to go for a ride out in a pickup.
Your freshly repaired pickup.
Collected Friday. Mm-hmm. Went out in it on Sunday, mid-afternoon, late afternoon. Broke down again in Bedale. And I basically, same fault, or it presented as the same fault, didn't turn out to be, but... So that was stuck in Bedale, what do I do? Anyway, nursed it out of Bedale at 10 mile an hour, annoying all the motorists. Because basically, what it was doing, it was the gearbox was getting stuck in 7th again. Yeah. But if you go backwards, you're all right. And if you go forward slowly, you're all right. Basically, it doesn't get out of first, then you're all right. So, nursed it out of Bedale to the nearest farm where I thought, because it was 4 o'clock, I knew that ringing the AA and getting recovered, I couldn't get recovered to Rufus Car because they aren't open. That's where it needed to go back to, at Clitheroe. So I needed to get it somewhere out of town so I didn't get fined for it being there all day. And a £60 parking fine. So yeah, nursed it out of Bedale and abandoned it on a farm just outside Bedale, and basically went back the next, asked could I leave it there, and he said yeah, and went back the next day with a box of brownies to say thank you, and basically ruined all of Monday because I spent most of the time trying to sort out getting my pickup to Rufus Car, and then going to Rufus Car on a recovery wagon that was like a boat, because basically the pickup, so it was at maximum load capacity. The pickup was like the most it could carry, and the back axle of the recovery wagon was in the middle of the pickup. So basically, it was just doing that all the way across the A59.
Oh, torture.
Well, it wouldn't have possibly been so bad if it hadn't been for the fact that I hadn't been so well Saturday, Sunday, and I wasn't just... I did have to take something for the journey. Yeah. Just so we didn't have to stop, because I didn't have any confidence in my guts. And then as a result of all that, meant that it knackered up my week, which meant that I was yesterday, when I would have been with you, and you were at the workshop putting a compact front box together, thank you, I was over in Cumbria fitting a health monitoring system on a farm, which was going swimmingly till 2:30. And then, of course, I remembered why I don't do these things on a Friday is because Friday afternoon, of course, 2:30, flying, could have been out there for 3:30 on my way home, 2 hours home. Of course, 2:30, went to strike it up, wouldn't work. And then Les spent another, it was basically 6 o'clock when I left there, because it was a Friday afternoon. And because
electronics, no.
Yeah, because I couldn't get an internet connection to where I needed it, and even though the cables were testing as if they worked, I basically had to go on a hunt and try and find out why I wasn't getting an internet connection. And anyway, so that's the consequences of talking about planned obsolescence. So be warned, people, It has its dangers.
We can moan about it, but then we'll have to put a disclaimer in or something.
We'll have to have a clear week where we can, if we talk about it again, we'll have to have a clear week where it doesn't matter what happens, there's no consequences. It's not going to intervene and inconvenience.
And when is that going to happen?
Well, it's never going to happen, is it?
No. We can get bitten in the
The last time, definitely don't do it anywhere near lambing time.
Oh, badness is going to happen then anyway, James. Honestly, last year I was in the middle of it. Like I say, we don't have a lot of sheep, so it's not that bad. But even then, I was just thinking, well, go on, bring it on. Let's just waiting for the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse to come striding into the shed. All right, lads, sit down. Come on, have a cup.
Have a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Do your worst and clear off.
Yeah, go on. Smite them with plague. I don't care. Go on. Set fire to the spot. I don't care.
Oh dear. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. The viewer wants an update on the muck spreader.
The one viewer
wants an update on what was in the muck spreader. So quickly, go on, explain.
Well, just our viewer has obviously seen the other episode then.
Yeah.
So just a quick recap is that, I was out muck spreading for someone. It's getting a bit latish in the day. We're not doing too badly. About halfway through a load, there was just a faint little bit of I just heard that little bit of a rattle, and you just think, there's maybe a stone coming here. And I didn't get a chance to think about anything more. Because like I said, there was sparks, a bit of dust shot out as well as the sparks, and just a bang and a stop. Shear bolt gone.
Game over.
A couple of bent paddles. Oh, right. And knowing what time it was at night, well, that's it then. I don't think I even shut the door. I thought, well, there's probably something wedged in the door as well, so I might even bend that. So let's just
leave it open.
I don't know if I even stopped. I think it was just one of those manoeuvres where you just kept going, oh, well, that's that then. And you just resign yourself to whatever's happened, and you just toddle off back out the field, turn for home, and
that's the end of that.
Park it up, and we'll get to that at some point.
So what was in it?
What was it? It was a rather large stone.
Oh, right.
Yeah. It had been suspended up in the muck at the front.
Oh, right.
It hadn't actually come along, got scratched all the way forward up with the auger.
Oh, right.
Which can happen.
Yeah.
But I think it had gone in kind of near the front, and it had dropped in onto the top.
So you didn't have to dig. So there was like quite a bit of muck in there.
I didn't have to completely. No. I was quite away. Well, it had thrown everything forward, and it had dragged a lot of it forward at the auger to start with, because the back of it was nearly clear.
Yeah.
So there was a reasonable amount of shoveling in there. But found that. But also, I just thought, I'll just carry it. I'll just have a little bit of a look about this front end and what have you, make sure there's nothing else. Oh yes, there was.
Right.
Hidden back down the other side, just because there is a stone trap as well. Which mine probably isn't working because I think it's jam packed full of stones to start with.
Right. Yeah.
I should open it and have a look, but I don't think those nuts are going to turn on those bolts. They might do. They might do, but I think it's just a case of survival of the fittest. I think the biggest stone has to sort of make its way in and push the little ones aside.
Right.
Anyway, there was another one in there, not just as big, but would have. It was something for it to chew on. I don't think it would have come out.
So if the auger that's in the bottom that pushes all the muck to the front, can you can you reverse it?
Good question. I like the way you're thinking, because it's been done before. Yeah. Friend Stephen over the other side of the dale, he had a lump of like a bottom bar for gate sort of thing. A lump of steel had gone into his, and he was wanting to wind it. Could we wind it backwards just because that was properly full?
Yeah.
And we're thinking, well, we don't really have anything that winds it that way. We're just thinking, hang on a minute. Hurleman has a front PTO on it.
Right.
So we thought, we'll give this a go. So I think we disconnected the drive chain to the output rotor.
Yeah.
And then sparked it up and tried it. And it worked.
Mint.
I'm pretty sure it did, yeah. It looked weird in the middle of the field, but yeah, it worked. We got all the pressure wound back off it. But I've seen some horror stories because another one of my friends, Adam, he'd had issues with his West spreader because they've got an agitation board up the side opposite the discharge rotor.
Yeah.
Has an agitation board which sort of slides up and down and just quite happily shuffles everything, helps it all towards the rotor,
right.
Stops it bridging. His had let go.
What on the board?
Either the back pivot pin or the front where it moves had let go, and the auger had dragged it underneath itself.
Oh, no.
So it just kind of got hold. And he sent me a couple of pictures, and one of them's with him with this board dangling off the end of the load all, trying to
drag it out.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I think he'd rolled the whole thing over as well to get it emptied.
So it was on its side and he was trying to pull it out sideways?
Oh, no, sorry. I think he'd rolled it over first and then cleaned it out and then was struggling to get it out. I could be wrong, but I think he got the gas out in the end.
Yeah, I know.
Which is understandable.
Right.
They're brilliant when they're working. They are. Yeah. Honestly, I used to like my rotor spreader. I had a big 10Q twin axle.
Yeah.
So you could get a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
You thought that you were getting on and doing something. But my God, they could be slow.
Yeah.
They could be slow getting started and
inconsistent spreading.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Whereas these things, you kick them into gear and you need to be moving. Especially
out.
Well, unless you're on proper liquid. And I mean proper liquid. Just door wide open.
Right.
Just let it eat.
Fair enough.
That's why that thing's on its knees with it on the back of it.
Right.
Well, also, stupidly, it's only got 540 economy.
Was it?
Yeah.
No 540?
No.
All right.
So you're asking a bit of it, to be honest with you.
So what do you do? Just run it faster to get, like...
No, just run 540. Just, what's it revving out at? About maybe 1700, something like that.
Right.
So you're asking a bit of it, yeah.
Oh.
You can't be anywhere too hilly.
So yeah,
it does it.
That's the spreader, the muck spreader update.
Anyway, sorry, yes, it was full of stones. It's back up and running now. Happy days. So we can tell our one inquisitive viewer.
Yeah. Committed viewer. So yeah.
Do you think he's been sat there just biting his nails? Going, I wonder how it is.
I know he's dead. He held his breath.
Well, more fool him.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, so the topic I've had it in mind. So our lunchtime conversations when we're in the workshop normally entail some sort of problem solving, and it ends up being a problem solving that isn't really a problem, or is like a solution to a problem that doesn't really matter.
Yes.
And so this is one of those, really. It's
really?
Just, yeah.
Now that you've come out with it like that, though, if we actually sorted ourselves out and put our minds to solving proper issues that affected the world, we'd be minted. But
yeah,
where's the fun in that? Anyway, sorry.
Why would you want to do that? That'd be
Oh,
boring.
fair enough. Now I've said it, I've really gone off the idea. Preposterous.
Why would you do that when you could have sheep and tractors and do welding and
exactly.
Yeah. Like
what? Make money?
yeah, be minted.
I think not.
That's for people with common sense.
What? Buy something without worrying about the repercussions?
The consequences of it breaking down.
Exactly.
Buying something, having already researched the known faults with it, because you're going to have to deal with them.
That's the first thing. Whenever I think about buying anything, the first thing is it's hit the internet and every forum I can. What are they like? What have I got to look for?
Yeah.
When I'm buying second hand.
What I've got to look forward to.
Well, yeah.
So, like I said, we tend to solve problems that don't really matter, or talk nonsense about doing daft things. One example previously has been, one problem we've talked about previously is front suspension. Most tractors nowadays have front suspension. Both your tractors have front suspension. And we've talked about putting front suspension on old tractors that were good tractors in the time but never had it. Anyway, so nonsense like that. It's never going to happen, but it's entertaining to talk about for us. So one of my bugbears is household recycling. So the plastic bottles, the tins, the cardboard that a family of 5 and 2 small businesses run out of one house generates is ridiculous.
Is it the penguins or the polar bears you particularly dislike then, James? So what don't you don't like the what is it that you don't like about the whole process? So
some of it's just the whole my issue is that yes, you can squash the plastic, but normally when I'm putting it in the recycling bin, it's like I ain't got time for this, hoy it in. So then you end up with loads of it, and it's just air. So then you end up throwing it out as bottles of air, or cardboard. Even if you squash cardboard, it's still just bulky, and well, not necessarily bottles, but equally. So it just does me head in. It does me head in. Even without being daft about it, like you look at it and think, well, is it actually doing the world any good recycling it? Because the amount of fossil fuels that is burnt to collect the recycling, is it actually better for the environment, or would it be better to put it into the normal bin and it goes for incineration? Like, I don't know where that line is, but I do question it. Go on.
I could be wrong. I know you say about put it in the normal bin, but that's generally anything in the normal bin is generally. I could be wrong. They may well be sifting a lot of it now, but it's generally just landfill.
Yeah, well, yeah.
However, I could be wrong. I'm sure I heard something in the news not that long ago about a lot of our recycling that we sift through, sort, clean, especially the plastic, goes for incineration anyway.
Altogether? Yeah.
Just bundled in. They're not sorting the different types of plastics. You've got PA6, whatever, blah-de-blah, all the rest of them. I think they're just... I could be wrong, but I'm sure there was a big expose thing where they were just all getting torched.
Well, if you take something like the local tip, if you take anything there, there's one or two of those compactor skip things, and that's all going for an incineration. And when you see the stuff that goes in there, you think, well, it's not recycling, is it? It's like you're burning all sorts of stuff. But the point is, so that the reason I wanted to talk about this is because what I've wanted to do for a while is build basically a household version of the front end of a Krone Big X self-propelled forager. So on the front of that, you've got 6 teethed rollers that are like driven by 1,000 horsepower that compact everything. So basically when the grass is going in, it's getting squashed by these 6 rollers that are pushing down on it, and then it's fed to a drum that's doing...
So it's feeding a uniform, dense wedge of...
grass or maize or whole crop or whatever it is, to a cylinder that's got a shear bar and a drum going round at 1,000 RPM or whatever it is, with knives on that's chopping it up into little bits that then fires it out the spout.
Right.
So I want to build the front end, not necessarily the drum part, but just because I think it'd make recycling quite good fun to go and strike up the front end of a Big X to process my recycling into smaller, compact whatever, which then means it's better for transporting.
Yeah, I'm struggling here, James.
I know, that's why I haven't done it.
Even I'm struggling. However, I think you're a little bit... You're overcomplicating it with your forager.
Well, that's because I've just got a bit of a soft spot for big X.
True. However, are you aware of those shredding machines?
What? Well, I know paper shredding machines.
Well, they're kind of like an elaborate paper shredder, but they're a load of interlocking star wheels.
Yes.
And as they come through, they sort of chop, crimp, feed everything in. But it's very low speed.
Yes.
Very low speed, high torque. Just mangle everything in quietly.
Colin Furze does a lot of YouTube videos. He built one. To eat a phone book.
Yep. There you are.
And that wasn't like where I got the idea from, because I wanted like I wasn't thinking of like doing it that way. I was like compressing it. So you've got like 6 rollers that basically apply pressure, and anyway.
We get the idea, James, but I'm just...
What I will say is...
You've got to power those, and then if you are just shoving a milk bottle through, what... And since we're doing this for the pandas and the polar bears, what level of power, be that electric or internal combustion, are you wanting to shove at this thing to get any reasonable kind of...
Well,
you're going to have to spin up. The inertia in one of those chopping wheels is enormous.
Oh yeah, it takes 20 minutes to get going. just to throw one plastic bottle in it and watch it shred it.
It just finished with.
Yeah,
and
but
then,
they'll be like, oh.
And then just listen to it wind down for the next 20 minutes. Yeah, worth it.
What I will say is, like, some of our ideas in the past have made it as far as me drawing it on SolidWorks. This hasn't even got to SolidWorks yet, so reassure yourself, I'm not that committed to this. It's just... But then I do think, in the back of my mind, I am thinking, well, as daft as this all sounds, is there something that could be produced that would be suitable to a household to process recycling?
Yes, but again,
not as daft
why
as that.
Why are you asking the individual householder to do this when you could just go around with the machine itself? You could buy yourself a big X forager and do a trip round. You just need a big compactor, one of those compactor trailers on the back.
Yeah.
And just spout
over the
top.
roof, into a trailer, compact it up.
Yeah, you just haul up. You'd be like the ice cream van when they pull into a neighbourhood. Ding, 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 ding. You could just haul up there, just hit the air horns, and all the housewives would come out, and all the house husbands, got to be PC these days, they'd come out and just hoss the stuff into the front, boom, straight through.
Because as daft it sounds, like, I think, are they a 16 litre V8 or 6 litre? I can't remember what they are now, but anyway. I think that's probably burning more fossil fuels than the 4 or 6 cylinder rubbish wagon that's going around doing its job. Yeah. So I think, as much as it would be fun.
I'm trying to be on board here, James.
I know.
I'm trying to help you live that vision.
Yes.
But I think we've exhausted.
Yeah, I think. But the trouble is, I have put far too much thought into this, because every time I go and put my recycling, I think, what about making the front end of a big X to chop up recycling? And it goes through my head again and again and again and again. I think
just one of those little, almost the size of a letterbox.
Yeah.
Just one of them, just feed you squashed up milk bottle through.
Yeah.
That's all our recycling is, to be honest. Just milk bottles.
Well, yeah, ours is as well. A lot of
hundreds of them.
Yeah, we do get through a lot. But then also we do produce a lot of cardboard because, like I said, there's 2 small businesses running out of our house as well as a family of 5.
Yeah.
And so we do end up with quite a bit of cardboard.
And a dirty Amazon habit.
Oh, yes. A relentless Amazon habit.
Does it make you feel dirty, James?
Well, not really.
No? No.
No.
No. That's what I like to see. Just
Because, well, it's not
it's
funny,
not me
but
to blame.
when you go on there and stuff's a fraction of the price of what you can get it elsewhere, unfortunately, I'm not in a position to be...
now then, yeah. Morals are costly.
Yeah. Yes, they are. They do cost money.
Is that thing going to die or not?
I don't know.
Oh no, it's the best one. Don't you die. Oh God.
They're choking on silage, the one thing they're meant to eat, and they're all choking on it.
That's sheep for you, James. Killed
Like
with
horses.
kindness.
Like horses die from eating too much grass.
What's wrong with
What's
your
the one
horse?
thing you're eating?
Eat that grass.
Like pandas that can only eat, what is it, bamboo?
Bamboo, yeah.
It's like, well, that was... How have you survived evolution? Well done. So, yeah. Lindsay I did say what I was going to talk about tonight, and Lindsay did say, for the love of God, please mention about the caps now that you get that are attached, and like, just keep them together with a bottle. When you undo them, they're still attached, aren't they? Which is all very well if you're going to drink that bottle all in one go, but if you're going to put that bottle back in the fridge, you can't then... It seems,
You struggle to get it back on.
Struggle to get it back on, yeah. It makes getting that cap back on a fight.
You're talking about the nostril stroke gum stabbers. When you...
Possibly.
Yeah.
Is it not the pop bottles as well? Have got these little tab things on now that...
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
You unscrew and then they sort of like fold over to a side, and then you're trying to...
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah. You're wearing it on your face because it's like, it's stabbing me in the face.
I don't know about you, but I'm really... Looking at our recycling, there's so much single-use plastic. Yeah. And I would argue there's a shit ton of it that just is not necessary. A load of it. You look at the packaging that's around something, you just think, I'd have been happy with that in a paper bag.
And the daft thing is, it's better now than it was. Like, not that many. Like, you look at Easter eggs now, they used to come in like a plastic, the egg was in a plastic like thing in the box. Well, now, it's just like... It's just the box and the egg's just rolling free, which I ain't got a problem with, but I think there's still a way to go, isn't there, to do away with... Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, I haven't looked into the actual figures, I don't know how they're getting on with recycling a lot of this plastic. I don't know. But there's a hell of a lot of it. Well, I know we produce a lot, and we try not to, but you can't. It's kind of a bit unavoidable.
Yeah, it is, to be fair. But, it bugs me. And, anyway.
To the point where...
Well, the other thing is, like, because of where we live, we have a green box like everybody else, but, like, we don't just put it out on the drive, end of the drive. The end of our drive is like the best part of a mile away. So then it's easy just to put it in the car and take it to the local, like in the village, there's some recycling bins.
Oh, right.
So I just do that every so often, which makes it even more of a job than like what most people do. So every time you're doing that, you're thinking, oh, this is just...
Well, ours gets picked up on a Monday morning. And you can guarantee come Sunday evening, you'll be thinking, I'll have to put the boxes out next to the road and what have you. And as soon as you open the door to go out and put there's a bit of a wind whipping up. I think, there's something stirring. Looking about. And then sure enough, you're laid in bed and you can hear the wind whipping around the house and you hear that fateful... that's the pissing recycling over.
All over the road.
So then you're out then, head torch on, middle of the night, picking bloody milk bottles up from the side of the road, get it all gathered back up again, get it all boxed up. And I can do without this. Whereas, if some friendly neighbour had come round with his forager and slapped it all through into tiny little bits. I still think that shredder idea is not a bad idea for like reducing volume. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's.
But even that. But if you've done that, how do you, if they are doing, how do you sort 4 different plastics then?
Well, that's the trouble. They aren't, are they? They can't.
I don't.
It's not
I don't
financially
know.
viable to do it. You know what I mean? Like, the trouble is, in some respects, we are half-arsing it, aren't we? We're not doing a good enough job of it. So in Australia, like, plastic bottles are, they've got a little logo on them. And when my brother was out there, I went with him and did it. I'm sure it's plastic bottles, and the glass, I think. I'm sure it's plastic bottles. You basically feed them into a machine, and it gives you, like, money back. So when you've bought that, you've basically paid five.
It's almost like
5
when you used to
cents
get a deposit
more.
back on your lemonade bottles. Back
Exactly
in the day.
that. But it's just a machine you feed it into, and it builds it up.
Yeah, which then begs the question of why aren't we reusing and rewashing bottles again now? Why hasn't this suddenly picked up? Because the only thing that you're going to have to do is crimp a metal
Lid onto it.
a small metal, generally aluminium, are they?
Mm.
So, I don't know.
What? Like we used to when we were growing up and you got milk in a bottle?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my
look,
God,
you put the
what
bottles
a
out.
strange idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
And, it's,
mental.
and the whole thing about doorstep delivery. Oh, well, Amazon, you're getting doorstep delivery. It's brilliant. What did your milkman used to do?
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Milk.
Yeah. One product every day.
Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah.
we're getting a bit picky now. Oh, God. We've probably angered the milk gods now or something. Or the, you know.
They've got bigger fish to fry right now.
Do tell, James, because I've heard a little bit of a story.
Yeah. And in fairness, it's quite easy to see how it's all got out of hand. Because some of the stuff that I've read on the internet about it. So basically, Lindsay used to work for Arla up until, she did about 10 years, up till about 2018, I think. She was a farm, what was she? Relations manager, basically.
Yeah.
So she dealt with the farmers. If the farmers had a problem, she spoke to them. And she just was, the farm relation manager between Arla and the farmers. Worked for Arla. Anyway, Arla have started a research project into feeding cows a thing called Bovia, which is an additive to go into the feed to reduce the methane that they produce.
Right.
And it's quite insane to watch because it's turned into a massive PR disaster for Arla, in that people have, there's been a lot of stuff said, of which a lot of it's not true. That it's all, Bill Gates is behind it all. It's good. There's health consequences for like male, what do you call it? Male like reproduction organs can be affected by it. There's all sorts of stuff that's been said, and you sort of have to, like we said last week about you can't trust anything you read on the internet. Well, this is sort of going down those roads.
Yeah.
And like Lindsay said, so Lindsay's take on it is, like, we feed our kids stuff that we shouldn't feed them. We know we do. Like McDonald's, and there's stuff in McDonald's that we probably shouldn't eat. There's like, there is stuff they eat that they shouldn't eat, regardless of how hard you try. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But again, I would argue, if it's only every now and then,
Yeah.
it's not. It's if it's a religious, we're hammering this out of them every day. They're
Yeah.
getting
If they're having
ultra-processed foods every day, which I would argue, I don't think they are.
No, they're not. Lindsay's a hell of a good chef, cook, whatever you want to call it, baker. So we eat healthily, within reason, and well. But there's a lot of stuff being said about this, and Lindsay said today that her issue isn't the fact that that it's an additive to the cows. The issue is that it's basically it's sort of highlighting a problem that isn't actually a problem. Like really,
Cows farting.
yeah,
Yeah.
the consequences of cows and what they put out relative to the consequences of everything else is being blown massively out of proportion because it's an easy target and it's easy to blame the cows.
Yeah, I am absolutely flabbergasted that this ever gained any traction whatsoever. I'm astonished.
The flip, and I agree with what she said because it's basically saying, well, it's admitting that there's a problem with cows where really, yes, cows do emit, but it's actually part of the natural biocycle. It's not like they're emitting gases that aren't already in the environment and the environment isn't capable of processing and dealing with. So it's sort of, in some respects, it's like what we do. Like providing a solution to the problem isn't really a problem. But the flip side to that is, I sort of had to agree with her, but say, well, in some respects, if cows can become even less the problem, then they're going to have to go after the real problem. Because we'll be able to say, well, actually,
oh, we've solved that.
yeah, we've solved that problem. How's about you start looking at all the other stuff that's actually the problem?
Yeah, but, oh dear, these gases that we've been monitoring are still moving out of control. How could that be when we've
solved the
cocked
problem.
up the arses of every cow that we can find?
Well,
not the wildlife.
no.
Methane. Do they know how much methane is locked up at the bottom of some of these big lakes?
I don't know.
A cow just is insignificant.
It just, yeah. But in fairness, this is where agriculture is a brilliant industry because agriculture is blamed for the damage to the environment, yeah? And yet, you've got, like, I'm guilty as anybody of getting on a plane and going to Italy a couple of weeks ago and Germany the other week. And, like, what the planes are producing and what transportation is producing relative to what cows are producing is massively...
Yeah.
But because it would be more of an inconvenience to say to people, you're going to have to cough up or you're going to have to do something, it's
no.
easier to blame the cows.
Oh, no, we're not. Look, yeah, we're not. Well, I touched on that Profi article I wrote.
Which one was that?
Do you remember that one? Uncomfortable Truth.
Right.
Where I basically said started off with the cows.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, no, you're right. It's cows. It's the cows. The fighting bits clean off the ice shelf. Yeah, it's all the cows. It's not. Don't look at yourself. It's not you and your jet setting lifestyle and hopping on a plane and cloud seeding and and your own house and all your power hungry devices and all the rest. It's not that. It's not you. You're right. Just you carry on as you are. You start pointing the finger wherever you like, but just don't point at yourself.
I don't think many people consider the fact that their phone that's got 30,000 photos on it, most of that data is stored somewhere on a server, which is consuming electricity. Everybody's data footprint, whatever it might be, even though it appears on your phone as whatever it is, photos, videos, whatever, is responsible for it to a certain extent. It might be minute, but it's still, when you times that by the number of people, it adds up to a lot.
And I could be wrong, but I believe it's not just the power consumption of these massive data storage.
Yeah. Because they run on nothing.
Sort of places. Yeah. It's not just the cost of running the drives. They've got to cool it.
Yeah.
It's the cooling is unreal. I think it costs more to keep them all.
Was it Microsoft or Google that basically sunk one to the bottom of the ocean because it was cooler to put it, like basically by putting it at the bottom of the ocean it kept it cool.
Yeah.
Basically, it was like a container full of servers or whatever they called it. Yeah.
Now where's the
so basically warming up the ocean?
In that?
Yeah, warming up the ocean.
Yeah.
Because you're putting heat in there that shouldn't be in there.
Indeed.
So so that's
hang on. We're creating. It depends where. I don't know where they're getting their electricity from in the first place. I don't know. It could be something that's slightly less frowned upon. It could be solar. I don't know. But wherever they're getting their electricity from, there will be some kind of environmental impact from that.
Yeah.
So there's environmental impact there, and then what are they doing with all that power, all those megawatts of energy sinking it into the sea?
Yeah. All that energy is going into the sea.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. But it's been quite entertaining to watch. And Lindsay did say that when she worked it out there, she did have to do some things that she didn't maybe 100% agree with them, but she did agree with them to the point where she could present it to the farmers in such a way that she felt comfortable.
Yeah.
And she's glad she doesn't work there anymore, because she doesn't think she could have presented this in a way that she felt comfortable.
No.
I've always been quite, like, are a hell of a good company from a point of view of innovation and agriculture in itself as well, because one thing that, so there's a country like Holland is a prime example. They are getting hammered on emissions. They're getting hammered every which way. The dairy farmers over there are getting annihilated.
Yeah.
To the point where they're developing all sorts of solutions to putting on slatted buildings. They're putting like these little flaps to basically on the slat, so the muck goes through, everything goes through into underneath, but then it can't come back up. Which, yeah, it's probably reducing it, but it's not getting rid of it. Lely and, well, there's a company called Hanscamp have developed a thing called a cow toilet. So basically to catch the urine and the muck when it's going to the toilet, which is quite entertaining. Lely have developed a thing for processing the slurry to make use of the nitrogen that's in a shed, which would probably help to that. I'm not sure it's a solution, but it's making better use of what's there, processing it in such a way that's better.
What was wrong with utilising this stuff through the soil as nature intended?
Well, yeah.
Was it simply they thought that they were getting too much at certain times of the year, too much from runoff, so to speak, or too much nitrogen or nitrate in there?
Yeah, I think half the trouble is that quite a big proportion of Holland is under sea level, which is quite
doesn't help.
No, that's a bit of a problem. So I guess that's part of the problem. But yeah, also they were quite densely populated with cows as well, which possibly was another reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, there's a number of different reasons, but equally some of it will be the fact that the government just wants to reduce the number of cows because it suits them to do so. Whether they've got an ulterior motive because they all want us to eat insects because it's easier to produce protein like that in a factory and do away with agriculture, I don't know. But the way things are going,
I don't know. I can't see that, but I don't know why agriculture is being so heavily victimised, or why fingers are being pointed, said, yeah, it's you.
Because it's an easy target. Because
farmers are the first. We are the first people in line to suffer the consequences of any change to the environment.
Yeah.
Any change, first in the line, first in the queue. You know, like, we've had a prolonged drought. Yeah, we're knackered. Or we've had a prolonged wet spell. Yeah, that's trouble for us.
Yeah.
You know, any sort of changes like that, we're first in the queue. Yeah, with our hands out. Thank you. Yeah, let's have all this trouble. But it's not in our interest.
No, but they don't get that, do they? But the funny thing is, like, I have a bit of a beamy bonnet about a few things like this, whereby it's easier to go after agriculture because there isn't one person. So, like, example is Bill Gates and Microsoft. Now, obviously, he's not the boss of Microsoft anymore, but if you go after Microsoft, you're going after one person, aren't you? And he can fight back. If you go after agriculture, you're not going after one person. You're going after a lot of people who, all on their own, aren't in a position to defend themselves. So then they have to go to London and demonstrate like they did.
This smacks awfully of, if you remember, the post office when it picked off because it introduced that shonky piece of software that wasn't ready.
Yeah.
They rolled that out. There was bugs galore, but because they were adamant that the software was infallible, they were prosecuting their postmasters left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
And they couldn't stand up to it because the post office as an entity was just so damn big. They just couldn't fight against it.
Yeah. And had the ability to their own justice system or judicial process, didn't they? So they could charge people with crimes even though they weren't the law.
Yeah.
And it's only because of one man, one man, Mr. Bates.
Oh,
Alan
it
Bates,
all came to light.
Who basically got the bit between his teeth and
just said no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a man. Because the entertaining thing about that is he never got angry. He never took it personally. He never got angry. He never got...
It's that type of a sort of cool character that can see that through.
And just kept at it. And that's sort of the problem, is that not that we don't have that sort of person, but equally it's just for agriculture it's an easy target because you're going after a lot of people who aren't in a position.
Yeah.
So that would ask the question then, right? So if everybody in agriculture put money into a pot to mount a legal challenge against the government's new inheritance tax, would that work? So, because it wouldn't just be farmers, there would be like people like myself who are directly impacted from the changes.
Yes, but you said mount a legal challenge. What legal footing would you have?
No, I don't know. That's the problem.
Because, oh dear, a politician lied. A politician said one thing and did another. Oh no. What legal precedents do we have for a politician actually being prosecuted for having done such? I can't think of one.
No.
I can't.
And that is some of the problem with the system in this country, that politicians aren't held accountable for anything they say. Well, anything they do.
No.
Let's just look at the expenses scandal, where they basically, I don't think anybody.
No accountability.
No one got charged with anything for wrongdoing.
No accountability. I could really get onto this. The banking collapse, 2008. Accountability there. People knew. They knew, but they were. Oh, this is the gravy train.
Yeah.
We'll just keep going till the wheels fall off. We'll get a massive payout at the end of it.
Yeah.
Things may go west, but it's not us. It's not ours. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
No accountability whatsoever. None. Drunk at the wheel. In fact, drunk asleep in the back
whilst driving the car.
Whilst the car's still hammering on with a brick on the pedal. Yeah.
On the A1 heading south.
Yeah. Or just drunk, sat on a gantry, watching it go past with a brick on the pedal. Not even, no, this isn't going to affect me. It's over there. It's gone. Yeah.
I'll set it off.
I can watch the carnage from over here. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Dicks. Just.
Yeah. So anyway.
But then, sorry, go on.
No, go on.
I was just going on from this because I watched a couple of films on it, and they're really quite good films. All really enlightening. But especially in America, they've just changed the rules. They said that you can't self-govern.
Well, the banks can't self-govern.
You can't self-govern because you've again, you've been drunk at the wheel. You've messed up. You've flatlined the economy. No, can't do this. And then anyway, oh yeah, very sorry, blah, 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 blah. But then give it a little time, and then we start lobbying. Lobbying's a hell of a thing over there. Lobbying. Oh, if your company is big enough and you've got enough money or whatever, you can get whatever you want done because you just start lobbying.
Or bribing.
Oh, is that the right word?
I don't know.
Yes, it is, James. Yeah, it is. Bribing, muscling, persuading, bullying. Just, you will get your way. And they did in the end. They're back to square one again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it'll happen again.
Normal services resumed.
Greed. Just greed.
Yeah. And that, in fairness, is like the Bovia thing. If you look at everything like that, regardless of what it is, you can pretty much see it comes back to money. So if they can get that product onto every dairy farm in the country and tell farmers, you've got to feed this stuff to your cows because it does this, then that's another added cost of producing milk,
Yeah.
of which a proportion of that money that's going into milk, arguably unnecessarily, whatever your opinion is, a proportion of that money is going to somebody else.
Oh yeah.
Whoever it is,
Yeah.
well, it's a Lanco or something that is behind it. So there's a multi-billion pound manufacturer of a product that will be getting money out of every single litre of milk, and that I can't help but think that's
It's dangerous territory.
Yeah.
As soon as you, it's becoming an almost authoritarian state.
yeah. If for no other reason than if you look at our cows in the UK and the amount of milk they produce relative to the number of cows we have, they are very efficient. Go to other countries in the world and they will have the same amount of cows or equivalent producing a lot less milk. So they are
Exactly.
nowhere near as efficient.
I would argue that your high-yielding cows and efficient farmers and such like are doing all that could possibly need to be done as it is. There's no
Yeah.
need for this shit. There's no need for this shit anyway. It is just shit. It's just annoying.
But also there is a place for all sort of production systems for milk. So you've got your low input, low output that are grazing, and they have their place, and high input, high output have their place as well for different reasons, different scenarios. It gives us a level production within reason throughout the year, because if you've got cows out at grass, you tend to have a spring flush where you've got more milk when the grass is fresh, so your milk production has peaks and troughs, whereas you're like high input, high output has pretty much more of a consistent production throughout the year. So there is a place for everything. There's a place for every type of production system within the UK dairy industry, but it's just and what makes a mockery of it in some respects is I can't help but think, and like I said, I've got a lot of time for Arla. They've done a lot of good. They're a very forward-thinking company. They've added value to milk by making some very clever changes to it, like Cravendale. That is genius. That is just like, I've been to the Arla factory, I've seen it, and basically the sort of the process that makes Cravendale, and I've not seen it, but Bob milk as well. We have had a bit of that as well. The innovation is actually very small machine in the corner of a factory. Compared to everything else that's there, it's tiny. But that one box has created a product that's generated a lot of money. So that was a very simple sort of. It wasn't just the milk; it was actually the bottle as well.
Yeah.
That was innovation, and why it lasts as long as it does. But it's just like, so I have a lot of time for Arla, but I'm struggling to. And I've got a friend who works for Arla. Well, you know him as well. And I haven't just had a chance to talk to him yet, just to get his side of it, because I think he would get.
That would be interesting to hear. Yeah.
It just and equally the funny thing is, I saw today, because Arla are getting a kick in, other milk producers are jumping on the bandwagon, jumping on the back of it and saying, we will never put this stuff in our milk. We will never do this. We will never do this. And so it's become a bit of a PR disaster, really.
Yeah.
And I can't help but saying that I did think the same thing myself. It's like, I'm not comfortable with this.
Yeah.
But then I did have to think, well, hang on a minute, I haven't really learned about it, so...
I can understand how they've wanted to be the first to market with this. Because they have been, like you say, they've been proactive, they've been shoving the Cravendale brand and this Bob stuff. I'm still not convinced about that.
I think it has its place. Well, and in fairness, I'll lacto-free, that is a hell of a product as well. There's a lot of people who can't drink.
Again, so they're probably thinking, well, we want to be ahead of the game.
Yeah.
With bringing this next one out. This our cows aren't as bad.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. There's a lot of, you can look at that a lot of different ways. You can look at it as if, you know, oh, so all the other cows are bad.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what the PR department of Arla are learning right now. You can look at it different ways.
Well, exactly.
Learning it the hard way.
Which I'm quite happy about, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I just think leave it alone. Just.
Anyway, on a lighter note.
Go on, yeah, let's go.
One of our other viewers.
Right.
Well,
we've got more than one.
More of a. Well, no, actually, it's more one of the production team, actually.
Right.
Lindsay.
Right.
You happened to be in the last one talking about your love for pan drawers. Yeah? Your love for pan drawers and how you'd managed to get some and got them all fitted in, made an island and all the rest of it, and got the kitchen fitter in just to help, but it wasn't quite finished. But you were, you know.
Just for anyone who's watching, this is me getting stitched up somehow. I don't right know how, but I am getting stitched up right now.
Well, it was brought to my attention that I believe you'd said that you'd left it with the kitchen fitter, that you were going to get back in touch with him just to create final date to get it all finished.
Yeah.
Just a few little touches finished. Now, you unfortunately said that on camera. And what you'd actually said at the time to your wife
right.
was,
well, hang on,
when she was asking why has this not been completed yet, I believe you threw your kitchen fitter under the bus. Oh, he hasn't got back to me yet. Oh no, well, he hasn't got back to me. Whereas on camera, whoops-a-daisy, you said, yeah, I was supposed to get back to him and I haven't done yet. Whoops.
Yeah, probably did, to be fair. Right. Well, in fairness, yeah, I probably did say that he hadn't been back in touch, but in fairness to him, it's my fault that I hadn't been back in touch with him. So
just put it down to breakdown in communications, James. That's all it's.
Well, yeah.
Don't worry.
I did end up ringing Rufus' car today saying, is my pickup going to be ready on Monday? And I ended up having quite a long chat with the owner of Rufus' car, because that's who I bought my pickup off and with a bit to catch up on. And then ended up speaking to service. He said, oh yeah, it's ready. It'll be ready. It's ready now if you want it. I was like, no, I'll come for it on Monday. And then put the phone down and got a message about 10 minutes later from Lindsay saying, Rufus' car rang yesterday and said your pickup's ready. Brilliant. I didn't need to ring him and waste a load of time. Anyway.
Well, look, running a Ford, you might as well build up a bit of a rapport with them, because let's be honest, you're going to be back.
Yeah. I'm going to be back knocking on their door saying, please fix it again.
It's making beepy noises. It loves 7th gear, doesn't it? Every time it has a fit, it just locks itself onto 7th gear. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all
well, in fairness, called the AA. They outsourced the job to Lowe's. The lad who actually lives in a village that drives the Lowe's wagon rang and said, I'm at it now. And so I went and he said, well, I'm just here to look at it. I've been sent to look at it. I haven't been sent to recover it. So then he's like, we're going to kick it back to AA and they'll tell us what to do. So I basically left the key with it, and then sure enough, it went back to Lowe's for them to recover it, to clear it. So the key was already with it, and he said, "Oh, well, I drove it round, and I tried to drive it up onto the wagon, and it wouldn't go. So that's the point at which I winched it on." Well, yeah, that's why it's going there, because it certainly won't go up a recovery bed. A wagon up a recovery bed in 7th gear.
Death in 7th.
It's just not going to have it. Anyway,
7 out of how many, James?
Oh, 10.
10.
Yeah. You've got a beating on it about every 10 years.
Well, I find it unnecessary. Admittedly, that I've been in discoveries with like that ZF8 speed box. That's fairly seamless. Yeah. I'm impressed. And I've driven that one of yours, and it was good.
Yeah, it doesn't tend to go into 10th until you're on the motorway and in cruise control. That's sort of, you can sort of get it, towing a trailer, 60, 70 mile an hour, towing a trailer at 60, put cruise control on, it'll drop into 10th. So it doesn't go into that 10th that often, but it does use it occasionally. So, anyway. So
I don't know how many gears mine has. It just makes noise.
Burns diesel.
Yeah, I used to be, because it's the first pickup I've had that's been an auto, and I was always a bit sort of preoccupied thinking, it's revving a bit hard. I'd have been up maybe a higher gear, or and once you get used to it, it just disappears out your mind. Then.
Yeah, you don't think
you want to go faster, loud pedal,
stamp on it.
Yeah, I don't care now. I can't alter it anyway. So I think it only has 3 years anyway.
I took Fliss and Zoe to Northampton this afternoon and went and do a bit of Christmas shopping, and there was an Audi TT went up the high street, and he sort of put his foot down. I was like, and then it changed gear, and I said to him, well, that's disappointing, isn't it? He's like, why is that? I says, well, it's a nice car, but it's an automatic. He's like, well, how do you know that? I says, because I can tell by the way it's changed gear, the way that the engine tone changed, you can tell. And I sort of explains to the girls that, look, if you like driving a car, and that sort of car, if you enjoy it, you want it to be a manual so you can change gear and properly drive it. Not
this whole even if you go back to the flappy paddle thing.
It's just not the same, is it?
No.
That's why we have our car that Lindsay drives is a manual. I don't really like driving it. I fell out with an automatic pickup halfway through owning the first one because towing a trailer, it was tedious, changing gear all the time. So halfway through owning that, I was like, this is boring, I want an automatic. When I got that one, I was like, I don't want an automatic because I'm too young for an automatic, but halfway through I was like, next one's definitely going to be automatic. But I wouldn't want an automatic car.
We are not too young for an automatic, James.
No, we're not now.
We're old.
No, we're definitely not. No, But equally, an automatic that didn't break down would be nice.
Ideal.
Yeah. A gearbox that just worked.
It's not run before we can walk, James.
No. But reliability of stuff. Anyway, we shouldn't get onto that again.
No, that's something for another day.
That'll knacker up the next week.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
We will call it a day at that.
The sheep trying to die in the background, coughing his lungs up.
Yeah. So, thank you very much for watching, and if you've enjoyed it, like and subscribe, and leave a comment, and we'll keep doing them
and we'll definitely get back to you on the comments because so far, what have we had? One?
It's easy enough to do. It's not an arduous task, is it?
Yeah, don't worry. You'll not disappear to the bottom of the pile. Anyway.
Right. Thank you very much. Next time.
Yeah, till next time.
So needs must, Nige?
Oh, indeed. Yeah. You've just got to remember that you have got to sacrifice a ratchet strap for it. So don't waste time running around saying I can only find 5 straps when I know I've got 6.
Yeah.
Thinking where the hell is it?
As far as you're concerned, that ratchet strap is dead to you now. Until it comes back down.
Oh no! I'll have to have it down at some point. Because it's a project, James. It's one of those things of, I'll get on with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next year, Bike's still there.
I had a project like that and I sold it last weekend. Because I've resigned myself to the fact that it was never going to happen.
What was that? Skoda?
A Land Rover.
Oh, a Land Rover?
Yeah, Project Land Rover.
You
It was
sold
a
the Land
project
Rover?
when we bought it. It was bought between me and Mike years ago. And someone came along saying they wanted one, and Mike rightly said, probably ought to send it on its way. And I was like, yeah, it's been sat in my backyard for long enough.
Oh, Jay.
So, yeah. Anyway, right.